A very important tenet of chess for our intermediate friends, let's say now. It's a bit more than just the beginning of the chess career to be understanding this. Again, very important, guys. Keep it as a general rule. In some scenarios, it might be exceptional, but most of the cases, when you are being attacked on the flank, strike in the center. Keep this in mind. That's your mantra. Just put it on a t shirt. When flank attack, strike in the middle, strike in the center. That's how you generate most of the counterplay. Pieces activity, I hope you guys remember, pieces activity matters absolutely. This is the supreme value in chess, what your pieces actually do. Let's have a look at that situation here in which white had decided, having the king on the e file. I'll try to explain as clearly as I can, not staying 1 hour here. Well, I could have stayed 1 hour, but I'm not sure you guys are going to be watching it for 1 hour unless you're really determined. We can do this during the live streams perhaps. So let's just go back to the practicality of this scenario. White decided, still having the king uncastled, to go with f5, expanding dangerously on the king side. Now, at the same time, the center is volatile, the center is vulnerable, and black should just do that. Strike in the center, just like that. And already starts building up tremendous tactical and positional advantage. Now, if you're telling me, well, what if I just drop the bishop on b3? What's this going to happen? Just look at this crazy tactic with bishop takes on f5. And if you inquire now, wait a minute, but that doesn't make any sense. They're going to be taking the bishop, right? They might, but I don't know if you guys noticed there is a black rook and the queen aligned with the queen and with the king because the king hadn't been castled and they went too early for that flank attack. And now look at the position. They took a piece from you, but look how you continuing playing this. You continue with e4. What does that mean? It's already incredibly difficult for white here because let's say they choose to move the knight somewhere, right? I don't know. They move the knight to safety, whatever that safety means. Then you will be capturing this pawn here. You're going to be attacking the queen, and the queen is pinned by the rook to the king. It's a disaster. And if you say, yeah, but what if I take back with a pawn, right? Yeah, but you've got the rook takes, and they've got the same issue. So this is just an example for you guys to understand what are the costs for generating the flank attack and not having your king secured. In your case now, luckily, if you find yourself in this position, if they attack on the flank, remember, hit in the center. Now, even if the king moves away to running from the rook, you're still going to be hitting, and the position is totally dominated by black here. It's total, complete domination. King can't be castled anymore, and the attack is just ferocious here. Black is going to be winning, provided you're not making incredibly poor bad choices. Okay, so just a move like this one should be more than illustrative because you're attacking the queen of tempo. Queen's got to move. You're going to be hitting also the d3. And frankly, there is no good moves I could suggest here for white. There ain't. I mean, they just going to be losing. It's just nothing for white to being optimistic about. Okay, so we're going to move to the next tutorial. Again, we are not going to exhaust every single scenario until the very last move because, again, we're not going to be finishing. Every single game in itself, it's a universe that might be just taking you hours to go into the last depth of analyzing it. So now we're going to be focusing on what we said. Every single time there is a flank intent to attack, remember, strike in the center every single time. And probably, guys, now you understand the value of pushing the e5. What a splendid move here. You're attacking that pawn, and now you're going to take, this is so sweet, now you're going to take back with the knight. You already exert quite a nice pressure here. This incredibly important square belongs to you. Frankly, if white insists with this move, like going on a flank, just wanted to show you guys how risky business is to insist with the flank attack whilst your king hadn't been castled. And we said about the g4 square, you've got a knight, you've got a bishop, and this is just so incredibly complicated for white here. Again, I do not have good moves here for white. You've got to save the queen. You got to play this one carefully. c3 could be, perennially attacked. It's just so bad for white here to survive this onslaught. So let's go for the next scenario, guys. Again, black is trying, having the king in the center, not castled. They try to go for, I don't know, create some sort of attack on the flank, but they should have taken care maybe a bit more for the king. And because they haven't, boom. What does that mean? It means a lot. It means that if black really persists with that flank stuff, in case you're taken, they can't even be taking it back because the queen is incredibly, unfortunately, aligned with the king, and your rooks are eager to go on the open file if that were to be the case. So now your opponent has to play something, moving queen away from the potential opening on the e file. They try to target your guy here, but now you just drop that bishop to safety. And again, black is not very optimistic here. They got a problem with the fork. It's just awful. You're going to be taking here. King is not castle. Notice that. And whichever way they want to go, the light squares belong to your bishop. Your knight here ready to remove this dangerous bishop on to d6. That guy is ready to go. The c6 could be potentially captured, and there is a fork looming in the air. So you guys, you need to collect all this data, and whichever seems to be more priority, with biggest, highest priority, play it. So you got a lot of very good ideas here for white. Again, we're not going to go into the depth of it. I just wanted to give you the right broader understanding of the striking in the middle as a response to being flank attacked. So let's go for another exercise here, my friends. So what do you think, guys, we are meant to be doing? Remember, they go for the flank. We have to strike in the center. And we're going to push this guy right here, attacking the knight, mind you, guys. And now if you're telling me, wait a minute, can't I just move the knight to safety? Even if you move the knight to safety, it's already quite bad here. So let's just say, well, they don't want to lose the knight, right? Okay, so let's just say, just for the sake of a little bit of more understanding, let's say they go with the knight onto b4. And there is a lot of tactics here. You're already doing way better with white in this position. Just consider, so you got a queen, you got a bishop, you got a d6. That's already, that guy has to be speculated. Boom. You're taking with check. Queen can't take, because if queen takes, bishop takes. So if they take with this guy, boom, you take with the pawn here. What does that mean? It means double attack here. It means that the pawn attacks here. I mean, it's a disaster. There is no good moves for black to play here. Nothing works. If bishop g3, you're going to take. It's just game over. King can't take, okay? King can't take. And there is and if there is the queen to take here, again, this is a disaster, because as soon as the bishop plays, let's say bishop f5, you've got to check and you attack the queen. It's just a disaster. I hope, guys, it's clear the advantages you will be having when you react by hitting in the center. Again, white goes with the flank. Remember, what do? Boom, we go with this move, d6 to d5 here. Well, if there is a pawn coming, I guess we can play this. If there is a bishop, you go here. You're doing incredibly well. You're going to be opening this guy anytime soon. You've got a bishop cruising like this. You got this guy attacking this way. So it is very beneficial. If they were to capture here, I reckon just very nicely, we're going to take with the knight. And this is already a incredibly positive scenario for black, because if pawn were to take and knight were to take, you already got like, what, 4 attacks on c3? And remember, the c3 means a terrible problem for white, because there is a bishop aiming directly at a1. So you got huge attacking power with this striking in the middle, my friends. And just another little detail, this is a subtlety for our intermediate friends. If white were to decide at some point to capture on g6, this is an important subtlety. Do not capture with f. Take with h. And the big difference would be, when they capture in the future, you want to take with h, not with f, because if you take with f, potentially you might be subjecting your king to some bishop to b3 checks coming in the future via that b3 ga diagonal. So keep this in mind. Another tenet of chess we are learning today. If they take, do not expose your king to light squares attack. So take with h. Let's go for the next exercise here. So they go with the flank attack. The king is awkwardly positioned here. Now, before we strike in the center, that doesn't mean you have to blindly go with what I said and apply it no matter what. No. You need to exercise the calculation on every single move. So you're not going to push e5 now because they're going to be going to be dropping a pawn. They're going to take space from you. They're going to be attacking you another piece. This is how you actually lose. So you're not just pushing e5 now. Prepare it a little bit. Perhaps you may want to go with f7 to f6. Why? Because you then can push successfully on e5, having 1, 2, 3 defenders for that guy. 1, 2, 3. Do it because you open up the F. You have huge attacking opportunities. This guy is being subjected to the bishop, so it start looking very good, positive for black. And if you tell me, yeah, but what if they push this guy down? Well, if they push it, you're gonna push it. So if they play something like f5, you're going to be pushing e4, taking more space from them, opening the beautiful bishop to g3, having the wonderful knight to b4, potentially playing knight b4 to d3. So all this data collection is of paramount importance for you to understand the positive consequences of striking in the middle as a response to flank attack. Let's go for another one here. What do we do? I think in this position, it's safely to estimate that we could definitely go with f6 here. We could definitely play a move like f6 here because the consequences are incredibly positive for black here. You may want to take this guy. And, well, hold on a second. If they take, you're going to take anyway. And I gather you could just very well take with the knight here. There is the prospect of you playing the bishop and looking this fashion. So I think it's very good. Again, in this scenario here, f6 is incredibly efficient for black. You hit in the center, you're undermining the e5 pawn, and it's looking increasingly positive for black here, guys. So let's have a look at this scenario. They played this one. Again, do we really want to push now e3 to e4 straight away? I'm not quite sure about this one because practically they're going to be taken. They're going to be attacking another minor piece. So perhaps you want to prepare. Again, not blindly going with this principle. You may want to play something like f3, getting ready then to strike here in the center. Okay, and then you're going to push the e4, and it's just simply going to open up this line here. I think this is incredibly positive. If there is any f3 here, you've got more than enough replacements, namely it could be the knight and stuff. So anyway, but that's actually very important for you to keep in mind. And also, they can't really take back because there is a rook on the e attacking queen directly, and can't really take with the rook because there is a bishop. So you've got, again, very strong applied direct attack here in the center as a response to the flank. So guys, these are the broad tenets of the striking in the middle as a response to the flank attack. Keep this in mind. They attack you on the flank, you strike in the center. Keep this in mind, and every single time just stay with this. And it could be some exceptions every now and then, but most of the cases, this is going to be the most counterplay being generated for you as a response to your opponent's aggression on the flank. Hope that's useful, guys. Join my live streams and let's have some more in-depth analysis maybe of your games and looking at more applied particular scenarios. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you soon.